Alabama's offense that are very core?
Well, I know they're bringing a lot of real experienced skill guys back. The tight end 12. He's I think he has 41 catches on the year last year. He was their leading receiver. Josh McGee's coming back. Xavier Thompson, the number 28, the running back's coming back. So they brought a significant amount of the rush game back with two of the top returners on the rush game coming back. With Dallas, looks like they're going to be breaking in a younger quarterback. I know he played some last year versus Georgia Southern and then some App State. So he's got some experience. So anytime you get the first game coming in, we expect a different variety of plays than sometimes you had gotten the year before, because staffs are always developing, staffs are always going out and developing different ways to do things. So we're taking into consideration what they did last year and then making some educated guesses as well.
You mentioned the running back. What kind of stands out about him when you watch him on film?
Yeah, I think he's a good downhill runner. I think he's got good balance. He's not a guy they use a ton in the pass game, but in terms of run between the tackles, he used a couple runs last year that he broke off, and nobody was going to run him down. So he's a good physical runner and he'd be a good challenge for us.
How excited are you to debut this defense for the first time?
I'm excited to get out there with the guys, and it's an opportunity. You're always talking about practice and scrimmages, but now the lights are, it's for real, and we're going against somebody that we're not familiar with. And, in practice and in scrimmages, sometimes familiarity, leads to some comfort, and guys feel a little more comfortable going against our own players because they know the matchup. So now it's really having confidence in yourself and really believing in the technique and the call and then going out there and executing. So I'm excited to see what these guys are going to do.
How have you tried to replace Cedric and Talando at corner?
It's hard to replace experience. It's hard to replace experience. So T-Buck, and we've been talking a lot about continuing to develop the whole room. As you guys know, it's a very, very long season, and with the lack of experience, we need to make sure that everybody is getting pushed in that direction of continuing to play and continue to help us. Sometimes when you have more established players, there's not that same urgency, or the players don't feel. As coaches, we're always trying to get ready, but the players don't feel that same urgency. So now it's become very, very apparent that those guys will have an opportunity to play, and we need them to continue to develop, and when the ball goes up in the air, we need them to make their plays.
Dan talked about Jamal Peters maybe moving to the corner. Has he seen any action there since the injuries?
We're moving several guys around. We had talked about Mo Smitherman being a guy that can play multiple positions. So, and this is the reason that you do those things. You plan ahead before plan is necessary. And so Mo's doing that. Jamal is a very, very talented athlete, and we need to find whatever the best way for him to help our team. We need to continue to explore.
Obviously, you won't know until Saturday when everything gets live, but you got a veteran defense, but you kind of anticipate some, other than cornerback, some younger guys getting their first opportunities this weekend, or does it just dictate how the game goes?
No, I think a lot of guys have performed well enough in fall camp to earn themselves an opportunity to go out there and play. We don't make any promises about, hey, you're going to go in and drive 2 or drive 4, or you're going to walk out of the game with 20 reps, or because some of that, unfortunately, is just a little bit of the flow of the game, and without being able to control the flow of the game, we're very cautious of promising certain reps or certain drives. But if we think guys have the opportunity to develop and help us this year, then we're going to explore every option and try to find some time in the game that we can start building that experience for them.
Jamal played wide receiver when he first got here. You obviously weren't here, but how have you seen him as a corner, not knowing his past?
Corner, he has, from the very first week in spring ball, he has he's a dynamic athlete. He's got a great change of direction. He's got good top end speed. Coming from the wide receiver room, he has, he's got demonstrated ball skills. So, I think what we've seen from Smokey is just a continued development, and I think that's what all these guys need. I don't know if there's a time in their career that they don't need to be developed and they don't need to be pushed. And everybody's so unique on what pushes them and what they need to get better. But I've been really pleased with Smokey's development from sometimes inconsistent in practice to seeing a more consistent product. I'm watching him out there, and he's holding himself to a higher standard. He's expecting himself to make plays because you can tell his body language when he doesn't make a play that he thinks he should make. So it's going to be a good developmental process for him, and we need him to play with confidence. And there'll still be ups and downs. But his path right now, I'm pleased with where he's at emotionally.
I think in the past you said you'd like to have your corners kind of out there and make plays and on an island a little bit. How does the injuries affect that, if at all?
Well, I mean, it's going to depend on, I guess, how people are going to go after us, which, you probably don't have to, you don't make a, jump off a bridge to understand that what's going to probably transpire here early until these guys demonstrate what they can do. And we got belief in them, and the calls have to help them a little bit. Our technique has to help them, and they got to play really smart.